On July 25, 2005, Nickelodeon and Nicktoons started experiencing several broadcast intrusions, which altered the episodes Your Shoes Untied and Gary Takes a Bath. Here are the clips we archived.
I have a confession to make. I don't know how to tie my shoelaces.
Do you know how lucky you are to have a friend like me?
Yes.
Look at this knot. Have you ever seen a more perfectly executed shoe fastening bow?
Gosh, probably not.
I learned when I was just a boy, Patrick, and I'm willing to pass on what I know. Go sit over there and let an old pro show you how to do it. Pay close attention, Patrick. Well, you start by taking one lace per hand, and then you gotta loop the...
Hi, SpongeBob. SpongeBob.
That was the first recording of these signal intrusions. In the recording everything was normal. Until it freezes on SpongeBob frowning. It stayed like that for some seconds before it cuts to a mouthless and eyeless SpongeBob. It stayed on this for a couple seconds before it cuts to a technical difficulties screen. And then it cuts back to the broadcast. It was all normal until SpongeBob falls down on the Krusty Krab floor. And when Patrick says,
Hi, SpongeBob.
instead of SpongeBob getting up, he stayed on the ground for a couple of seconds until it cuts to a darkened version of SpongeBob with some backwards messages. Before it cuts to the Nickelodeon technical difficulties screen. Anyways, here is the second recording. That was the second recording of the signal intrusions. Anyways, let's explain how the final hijacking went down. In this recording, the episode begins normality. When it got into the episode, it was all normal. But SpongeBob wasn't there. It was only Gary. It cuts closer to Gray, his eyes widened as the screen goes dark. And then it cuts to the technical difficulties screen. It stays on the technical difficulties screen for a couple of seconds. And it cuts to the eyeless SpongeBob before it cuts out. It stayed black for a couple of seconds, and then it cuts to the end credits, but it was just darkness with the white flowers, and the audio was distorted. This lasted for 1 minute until it cuts to the United Plankton pictures, but in a dark gray, and then it to the copyright info, but the logo was distorted. Anyways, here is the final two recordings.
And let's not forget the turbo drive. Would you believe they only had one in stock? To the kitchen!
This is an apology from the Nickelodeon team. We are sorry for the unauthorized imagery on our broadcast that we did not approve of. We are currently investigating these intrusions to find a way to prevent this from happening in the future, as we will try our best to rebuild your trust in us one step at a time. We will be back shortly. We thank you for listening.
Thanks. Welcome aboard.
But Mr.
Three
Krabs...
cheers for SpongeBob! Hip hip!
All right.
Local television network. Nickelodeon had been hijacked 2 days ago, displaying unauthorized imagery on the network. Nickelodeon is currently investigating these signal intrusions, and the suspect, now identified as 37-year-old Matthew Raymond Johnson. He was responsible for the murder of his 10-year-old daughter named Emily Raymond Johnson. We will update you on this situation later.
That is all the recordings for this incident. I hope you enjoyed this short documentary. And there was another incident that happened in 2009, ruining Nickelodeon's reputation. But we will talk about that in another episode.